Be not afraid, be not afraid.
Welcome back to another episode of the Arizona Adaptive Water Sports Podcast. I am your host. I'm Ryan Paul Johnson. I'm a board member on Arizona Adaptive Water Sports, and I'm so happy that you're here. Came back to listen to another story from one of our other board members. Arizona Adaptive Water Sports is Arizona's only organization that's looking to get people affected by all types of disabilities out on the water for a day of play and adventure. It may not sound like that much, but as a participant, I can tell you it truly changed my life. So on the podcast today, we're speaking with one of our board members. This is Scott Stowers on the phone. Scott, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate you having me.
Oh yeah, no, I'm so happy to do this and to be a part of this organization. If you could, we just want to start, if you could tell us your story, Scott, how you got involved with Arizona Adaptive Water Sports, how long you've been going out to the lake, and we'll go from there.
Sure, you got it. Well, mine is, I think, a little bit unique in how I got involved. I lived in San Diego, and while I was going to college many years ago, and at that time, I was a water ski instructor. I taught water skiing, and I skied collegiately for San Diego State. And one of the other water ski instructors had a friend who was a very active guy, and he was in an auto accident. And unfortunately, he had ended up paralyzed and paraplegic and in a wheelchair. And this guy had a fire for life, and he just was not going to let anything slow him down. And he went to my buddy, the other instructor, and asked him, he said, how are we going to get me back on the water? This guy's a former water skier, and he said, how are we going to get me back on the water now with this situation? And they started figuring out and creating, and basically they built the first adaptive water ski. They threw this guy on jump skis. They threw him on surfboards. They tried all kinds of stuff. And he had a lot of fun and a lot of failure. But I was around for some of the testing, and we ended up, creating the first, sit ski.
How long ago was that?
That was, let's see, approximately 1989, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, quite a while ago. And so after that, the facility, which at the time was Mission Bay Aquatic Center, they started having adaptive ski clinics. So after they figured this ski out, and they created, at the time it was a mono ski, and then they created the outrigger skis to make it safe and to make it more user-friendly and functional for all different types of abilities. And we started doing clinics in San Diego, adaptive ski clinics in Mission Bay. So I was a part of those and helping teach those and lead those. And I loved it. I've loved skiing myself. I've loved teaching skiing for years. And when it came to adaptive skiing, it was really something I had a passion for, because I just saw how much it benefited that individual, because those individuals who have disabilities can't just go out and hop in a boat and go and do it any day, right, like supposedly the rest of us could.
Right.
And so when we would have these events, it would be life-changing. And I know that's a big term, but it really would. People would tell us that. People would come out, and this is now, especially here in Arizona with Arizona Adaptive Water Sports, people will come out and in many cases would have some trepidation, would have some fear, would be concerned and not sure if they wanted to do it. And we as a group of volunteers and a group of instructors and teachers, and we would help them through that and through the process, which continues on this day. And by the time that person got in the water, got out of the water, had a great experience, you couldn't get the smiles off their face, Ryan. It was life-changing, and they would tell us that. And when I really saw it was when people would come back the next year and they would say they had looked forward to this event all year long because this is the only time and place they could do it. That's what I'm like, wow, this is important. This matters. This changes people's lives. And, I'd also have people tell me that they go on to do other things, other adaptive, different types of sports, and would give them the confidence, and it would give them the ability to try other things after choosing to participate with adaptive water sports. So it's been amazing. I moved here to Arizona in 2003, and I got a call from my former boss, who was the manager at the Mission Bay Aquatic Center at the time. And he said, we are doing an adaptive ski clinic along with St. Joe Barrow Neurological, and with the time called Day at the Lake. This was in 2003. I was living here in Arizona. He said, you want to come out and help? And I said, of course. And I volunteered. And so I've been a part of this since 2003. I think I missed one event in that time period, but I've been there every year since. And it was funny because Joe Crawford, of course, ran the whole program for Day at the Lake and Barrow Neurological and St. Joe's. And my former boss, he ran just the water ski portion. Because back in those days, Joe would kind of hire that team to come out to be able to lead the water ski portion. And then local volunteers ran the rest of the event. So I get a call from, over the years, I get a call from both my former boss as well as from Joe. And I'd say, guys, wherever you want me, I'll be there. I'll volunteer. I'll do whatever you need me to do. And in the early days, I drove a pontoon boat. We used to load participants onto a pontoon boat, take them out into the lake, and we'd rotate them and put them in the water to participate, because we couldn't drive through the 5-mile-an-hour zone. And we've advanced, and we've got permission through the sheriff's department to now do that. So, a lot of years, a lot of love for this event. I would come home every year and tell my wife that I need to somehow find a job in this industry because it is so. It was rewarding for me personally, because again, to be able to help people, and I get more gratification and more motivation out of this. At the time, I had a long career in marketing and advertising, and all good and great, and I had success and didn't, but it has allowed me to actually get into this industry. So I feel very blessed.
Yeah, no, I think you also answered the question why you're still doing it. It's because of the change you see in people's lives, and that's my story exactly, Scott. That this event honestly made a huge difference in my life and changed, the way I saw the world and the way I went after life. And that's why, I'm here, because I want other people like me, So I love hearing that from you, especially. And I didn't know that about the first sit ski. That's awesome. And that's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So looking out at the future, now you've been a part of this for a long time. Now we're on the board of the organization. What are your hopes and dreams for the future? Where are we going? Where would you like to see us go?
Well, of course, we'd love to be able to provide this to as many participants as possible. Over the years, the event, in its early days, it was one time a year for sometimes 3 days, sometimes 4 days, a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, actually 3 days at a time. And it got very busy, and a lot of participants, and is from a volume perspective, and it almost forced us to not quite have as quality of an event, meaning that the participants sometimes had to wait in line longer to take their turn at the various different activities, whether it was water skiing or whether it was jet ski rides or whether it was fishing or kayaking. We've been able to offer more dates, more time slots. And I foresee us continuing down that path. More opportunities, more being able to make it almost not an everyday thing, but something that's more frequent where people can look up and go, oh, I can go in the next couple of weeks. I can go next month. And where it's something that it's not like, oh, we're planning next year's one event or something like that. It's a continual process that allows participants the opportunity to grow in their love for the water. Whether they're whether they're on a sit ski with outriggers, or whether they're a mono skier and they're aggressively wanting to slalom ski, we'd love to help them. We want to continue to take this. But I think the future may take us outside of the Phoenix area also. We may be going out to other communities around our state, maybe going to southern Arizona, to the Tucson area, or provide opportunities, up in northern Arizona. Yeah. So really just figuring out how to offer this to as many people as possible, and make it make sense for everybody involved.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. I can see my hope has been, well, just knowing how it changed me. It was like, I would love the chance to just be able to grab a guy or like meet someone, like a guy in a wheelchair, and just be like, hey, come on, like in 2 weeks, we're going to go out and we're going to do this thing. And just knowing that it would change. It will open your head in such a great way.
Right. Because you could say in 2 weeks, where if you say, well, in 8 months from now, that's tougher, to pull them in, and doesn't mean you can't, but if we can improve that frequency as well as, availability, I think the program, it's not about the program, it's about the participants. How can we serve them better? Ryan, I just thought of something when you said that. I've had participants say to me that previous to something like this, they've shared, and this is a personal thing from them, but they feel like they're almost prisoners in their own home, because their life has been, in most cases, it's been shattered or changed, whether it's been an injury or an illness or whatever caused them to be in most cases in their wheelchair. They feel like they can't do things in life anymore. And this is something that just totally changes that. And it's like, you know what, you can do things. You can participate. You can get out of the water. You can feel the splash of the water, the wind blowing through your hair, and laugh and have fun, just like everybody can. And that's our whole goal. And that's why I love it. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm passionate about it. It's probably one of the most things I've been passionate about my whole life, and that's just helping others. So
well, thank you, Scott. I appreciate you being there, being a part of our organization. You had kind of said you got into the industry. What are you doing now as a part of kind of the disabled community industry?
Great question. I actually am a manager of a wheelchair accessible vehicle business. So we serve a similar clientele base, individuals who need transportation, who are in wheelchairs. So whether it's a wheelchair accessible vehicle, whether it's a side entry or rear entry, or if an individual just needs hand controls, and we can install hand controls in pretty much any vehicle. We do service, we rent, we sell, and that has been very rewarding for me as well, because I feel like, again, that gratification, when an individual doesn't have the ability to get around, that takes away some of their freedom in life, and to be able to give that back to them is something that I really enjoy. So yes, I've been doing that about 2.5 years now, and I love it. So I feel blessed to be a part of this.
Yeah. And what's the name of the company? If someone was in a wheelchair, they're looking for vehicle help, what is it?
United Access. And
cool.
We've got a website, unitedaccess.com, and we're located 2 locations in here in Arizona, one in Scottsdale, near the Scottsdale Air Park, near the Costco there at Raintree in the 101. And the other location is in Chandler off of Cooper and Germain.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome. Yeah. So if you are out there, you're looking to, regain some of that freedom and mobility, get in touch with the good people over there at United Access. They're awesome. And also, if you're just looking to get out of the house, kind of what you said too, Scott, that's that I like have a picture in my head of like the guy or the gal who's just depressed and can't, doesn't think there's anything, because that was me, like I totally know that guy. And so I really am excited to be doing this so we can get people out there.
No, thank you, Ryan, for your commitment to our organization and everything you're doing. I'm excited for our future. That's for sure.
Well, cool, Scott. Wait, thanks again, man. We will be talking with you again later.
Great. Thanks, Ryan.
Okay, there you have it. Episode 3 of the Arizona Adaptive Water Sports Podcast. Thanks so much for hanging out all the way to the end. Scott Stowers, huh? Some story there. I had no idea coming into it that he had such an amazing story and past with adaptive water sports. So I was glad to hear that. If you're looking for more information on what we do, you can find us on our website. It's azadaptivewatersports.org. Again, azadaptivewatersports.org. If you're interested in participating in one of our events, you can fill out a form there and get in touch with us. Also, if you're thinking about interest in volunteering, you can get in touch with us there as well. So thanks again for listening. Have a great week and embrace your freedom.
Be not afraid, for love is near, and perfect love drives out all fear. Be not afraid, be not afraid. Be not afraid, for love is near, and perfect love drives out all fear. Be not afraid, be not afraid. Face the truth, I ate that fruit, and so did you, my friend. And now the cry of our distress reminds us that we're powerless to take this world that's such a mess and make it new again. Be not afraid, for love is near, and perfect love drives out all fear. Be not afraid, be not afraid. But in our plight we soon forgot the cup of life that mercy bought. Let us not forsake him any longer. For whoever drinks from mercy's store, from that day forth shall thirst no more. Come now in your weakness, be made stronger. And be not afraid, for love is near, and perfect love drives out all fear. Be not afraid, be not afraid. Be not afraid, for love is near, and perfect love drives out all fear. Be not afraid, be not afraid. We know that if we live in love, we live in God and God in us. And by his Son, our sins